Welcome to the ATMA Podcast, where we give you the tips, tools, and strategies you need to build, launch, grow, and scale your business. My name is Bryan. I'll be your host today. Today's guest brings a unique perspective, one rooted in education, faith, service, and community leadership. She's led with heart, vision, and a deep commitment to serving others first. Our guest today is none other than Laurie Bianco, Mayor of the City of Dalworthington Gardens. Laurie is a teacher by training and a mayor at heart. She spent 20 years in education, teaching elementary and gifted and talented students both in the United States and internationally in Genoa, Italy. After stepping away from her career to raise her family, she re-entered public service through the Citizens Public Safety Academy, an experience that sparked her passion for city government. Encouraged by community leaders, Laurie ran for mayor in 2018 and considers it a blessing to serve the people of Dalworthington Gardens, a concierge city founded in 1936 that is preparing to celebrate its 90th anniversary. Laurie, welcome to the ATMA Podcast. Before we get into the show, let's say thank you to our sponsors. Today's episode is sponsored by NuvoDesk Co-working, the home of Arlington's most accessible production-ready podcast studio. Whether you're launching your first show or leveling up your content game, NuvoDesk gives you a professional studio environment where you can walk in, hit record, and create. But NuvoDesk is more than just a podcast room. It's fully equipped business hub with private offices, conference rooms, and workshop and event spaces designed to help you host, collaborate, and grow. If you're ready to elevate your brand, your business, or your voice, book your next recording or your next tour at nuvodesk.com. Create here, work here, build here. Today's episode is brought to you by Nuvio, the all-in-one business platform designed to help you build, manage, and scale with confidence. With Nuvio, you can build your own website in minutes, manage all of your leads and customers through a powerful CRM, and if you're in the restaurant industry, you can run your entire operations using Nuvio's modern point-of-sale system. Whether you're a startup, a service provider, or a full-scale restaurant, Nuvio gives you everything you need in one place. Simple, connected, and built to grow with you. Discover why entrepreneurs are switching to Nuvio. Visit nuvio.com and run your entire business on one platform. Well, welcome back, everybody. Welcome to the ATMA Podcast, and we have the formidable Mayor Laurie Bianco with us today, and she is a character, and she is fun to interview. I'm excited about this interview and to talk a little bit about Dalworthington Gardens, right? And so, Laurie, why don't you introduce yourself and just tell us a little bit about Dalworthington Gardens?
Okay, Bryan, first I want to say I am so humbled and thankful to have this opportunity to sit down with you. It is truly an honor. And I come from a small town in North Carolina, and I will tell you, Dalworthington Gardens is where I'm going to lay my stakes and die. I love this place more than anywhere that I have ever lived. And Dalworthington Gardens is just a place where we've got community, we've got love for each other, and we've got a strong group of patriots who really support our country and love Texas. And a lot of times when I talk to people, especially if I'm traveling abroad, they'll ask, well, where are you from? And I will say, I'm from the country of Texas. Because to me, Texas is my heart, Texas is my home, and it's everything I could ever dream of.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And so you're the mayor of Dalworthington Gardens, and it's a concierge city founded on service, right? And so how does that philosophy shape the way your team approaches leadership today in Dalworthington?
Well, whenever we say we're a concierge city, our citizens and our businesses are our first priority. And in order to be of service to others, you put yourself personally at the back of the line. Mm-hmm. But whenever we answer the phone, we say, good morning, this is Diana at Dalworthington Gardens. I can help you by giving a sense of importance and a sense of assuring folks that we are there to serve them. We may not be able to solve the problem, but we're there to absolutely help. And DWG, as we call it, which is a much smaller form, and much easier to say, we absolutely try to serve the citizens. When they call, I answer the phone. My phone's on 24/7. And my police chief gets on to me and he says, is there anybody that doesn't have your telephone number? And I pretty much say no, not if they know me. But our city is a service city. So when businesses come into DWG, we really try to not make them jump through hoops. Everybody that works at City Hall are the people that you are going to be working with. So if a new business comes to us, we invite them in, we introduce the entire staff, and these are the people that will be serving you. We have a couple of third-party services that we don't have in-house, but for the most part, we make everything happen inside that special circle of trust.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And just like a business, local government entities and cities, they operate on a foundation, right? And
yes.
So we talked about this and kind of like, as we were discussing this podcast is about build, launch, grow, scale, right? And it sounds like the build is a foundation of any organization. It sounds like service is the foundation for what you anticipate for your staff. So but you've had some influencers in your life and have helped you. Talk about a little bit about Mayor Jeff Williams and Judy Rupe and how they shaped your leadership style.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I will tell you, I am the most blessed person in the world. I'm not going to say lucky because it's not about luck. It's about a blessing. And so many people have been mentors to me that I look up to. Mayor Jeff Williams is one of them. He has been not only a personal friend to me, but anytime that I need advice on how I should perceive something and act and respond, he has always been a great sounding board, just as Judy Rupe, who is a very, very dear friend of mine, one of my best friends in the whole wide world. Judy sets the example, and my daughter actually said to me last week whenever we met with Judy, she said, when I grow up and I am fully into my career, I want to be like Judy. And that's probably the highest compliment that a person could be given. Both of them pour into me, invest in me, and try to help me be the best version of myself that I can be.
I love it. I love it. And for those who don't know, Judy, you've seen Mayor Jeff Williams on the show and podcast earlier, but Judy Rupe is the CEO and owner of Arlington Today magazine. Yes. And so she's a wonderful person and very involved in the community. And I think it's rudimental. Like when you talk about building a foundation, you have to surround yourself with like-minded people and people that are going to pour into you and lift you up, right? It's so easy to have a circle of influence, when you start becoming successful, especially you, and you're the mayor, right?
No. It's everybody else that makes our city a success. Yeah. I wish I could take credit for it, but there are so many wonderful humans that not only work at our city, but that really invest in us and help us be the best that we can be.
And that's wonderful. You have to surround yourself with the right people. So your goal is to attract businesses while still protecting the character of the city. What foundational challenges like land valuation make that difficult?
Okay, so what we've done as a city, because we really do, we want to be a city where people come. We want to be a destination. We don't want to be a drive-thru. And too many times we've got a great traffic count on Bowen, but people don't stop in DWG. So what we've done as a city is develop a comprehensive plan that we just passed last year. And so all the land between California and Bowen, all the way up to Key Elementary, we would like to do a a commercial corridor along that area, not to impact what's on the inside of the city. So we've protected the integrity of the residential part of the city, but we need those tax dollars so that we don't have to raise the taxes in order to provide the services that our citizens deserve. So we passed the comprehensive plan, and we reach out to everybody that we know that we think has a business that fits the culture of the community. Now, what do I mean by fits the culture of the community? There are certain businesses that we're not trying to attract. Of course, we will never say no because we can't, but we want to maintain the foundation of our community. It's a residential area. For example, the perfect example is Green's Produce. They bring homegrown, very high quality foods and plants to the community, and they are a perfect example, as is Grounds and Gold, Baklava Bakery. Pan Bakery has just gone off the rails with their success. But those are the types of businesses that we want to attract. But the problems that we've encountered are sometimes landowners don't perceive the true value of their land. Because if it's something that's near and dear to your heart, it has way more value to you than it may to someone else. So the valuation of the land with what Tarrant County says it's worth and what the landowner thinks that it's worth are two very, very different things. So we've had a hard time acquiring parcels of land because of a difference in the price. Most developers will tell you it's maybe $6 to $7 a square foot for development, and some of the landowners are asking quite a bit more.
Ah, okay. So there's always going to be obstacles when, and it's funny because everybody, always when you're build, launch, grow, and scaling anything, an organization, a city, or business, you're always going to have obstacles, right? And to work through those obstacles and to maintain your character and as far as service is extremely important. But since you've become mayor, several new businesses have opened up in Dalworthington Gardens. What does the success say about accessibility, responsiveness, and city leadership?
Well, I will tell you this. We are always accessible. And like I said before, whenever we get a new business in, we're there for them. They have direct access to everybody there, and you're not having to jump through a bunch of hoops to get what you need done. For example, permits, we can get those easily, passed out immediately. With Grounds and Gold, Maurice and I actually met at a Maurice Ahern. He's the owner and the Kinley family of Grounds and Gold. And so I met him at Pies for a Purpose that Derek Kinney sponsored several years ago. And I told Derek, I said, I got to meet this guy. And so we met, and I said, you don't know this, but you're going to open your business in Dalworthington Gardens. And he just kind of laughed. And I called him the next day and I said, well, I'm waiting on you. When you going to show up? We gotta meet about this because we're going to open you a business here. And sure enough, through several months, they now have one of the most successful coffee shops in the Metroplex.
It's funny you say that because I was just talking to Maurice the other day at the 40 Under 40 event. I was just telling him that it's remarkable because my church in Rush Creek, all the employees, they have their
I know.
They love that place. It's so great.
I see them and your former pastor.
Yeah, they're always there. And but it's funny. You said something earlier about making yourself accessible, and I think a lot of people and a lot of businesses forget this concept when they're starting a business or starting an organization or starting any kind of launch, right? You not being accessible is a big problem, especially if you're trying to launch a new product, a new campaign, new service. And you said it, hey, you have to be available on the phone. You're ready for meetings. You're ready for one-to-ones. So why are those simple practices still powerful in what you do today in the government?
Oh, the foundation of everything in life, honestly, is about relationships. Mm-hmm. And if they don't have that relationship of trust and knowing that they're going to be able to reach you and that you truly care about what they're doing, you're going to fail. Mm-hmm. Because trust and accountability, accessibility, all of those things are extremely important, to forming foundations, whether it's in a business relationship or a personal relationship.
Right.
Because it's not about how much money you're going to bring in. It's about the quality, how it's going to make that person successful, because the foundation of most things is to create a path for success. And that includes making a plan and articulating that to the best of your ability. But you must have city backing and everything else to make the business as successful as it can be.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that we get carried away, especially if through the obstacles. We were talking about obstacles earlier, about making sure that it's mutually beneficial, right?
Yes.
And so, like, a lot of people get away from that. Because I don't know if it's desperation. They're so involved in trying to make something successful that they forget the root is, hey, I got to make sure that this is a mutual beneficial, campaign, launch, product, service, what have you. And like you said, it's about relationships, right? So how do initiatives like food truck parks help shift the city from drive-through to true destination?
Because you have to take your little sweet car, park it in that parking lot, and spend your money in DWG. It makes you stop. And when you stop, it makes you look around, look at your surroundings to see what else is there. Mm-hmm. And it provides the possibility, for a person to spend money in another location. For example, Ghost Food Truck Park. They've done an exceptional job. They have their own business there, plus the food truck park. And we're really trying to develop that parcel of land at the corner of Bowen and Arkansas, because it's a great piece of land. But that has lots of possibilities. So we're hoping that things like Ghost Food Truck Park will attract other businesses into there. I'm not going to say what unspeakable we would love to see on the corner, but you can use your imagination.
That's awesome. So now we go into growing the systems, people, and evolution, right? And so you've spoken openly about learning from mistakes, especially sharing too much, right? Too soon sometimes, right? How have those lessons shaped you as a leader in maturity?
Okay. I've learned several fundamental lessons in life. I will tell you, I get excited about something and just want to blurt it out. And I live with my shoelaces hanging out of my mouth because I usually am eating my words.
Yeah.
But I've learned to kind of maintain my excitement internally rather than going out and blasting it to the public.
Yeah.
That's very important, but I just can't help it. I get so excited about it, and I see the potential for the development, and so I've really tried to work on doing that. And another big lesson that I learned this year was with the redistricting issue. Dalworthington Gardens was not affected one way or the other by the redistricting, but I was asked to make a decision very quickly about something, and I didn't have all the facts, and I felt pressured to make a decision immediately, and that was a mistake. So one of my goals for this year is to truly gather all the information, even if it takes a long time, before I make a decision on behalf of the city. And I always try to do that based on biblical principles, because that is the foundation of our country. That should be the foundation of our lives, or at least it is for me. And so those are two extremely important lessons that I've learned. And I don't mind saying I'm sorry, I made a mistake, and moving on, because if we don't make the mistake, how are we going to grow and learn?
Yeah, Exactly. And I think that it's okay to get excited, but if we there's a time and place for everything, right?
Absolutely.
And I've caught myself doing that on a personal level as well. When you get too excited, you tend to try to speak it into existence, but that isn't always the best. That isn't always the best approach, right? Especially when there's certain things that other people are involved and affected by that, right?
Exactly.
And so, we talk about growth requires alignment. How has the cohesive city council sustained progress in this momentum?
Okay, oh my goodness. We have the best city council ever. Everybody gets along, and we have a shared vision that we're all working toward. Now, do we have opposing ideas? Absolutely. But you don't want to have a group of people making decisions for the city that all think exactly alike, because then you may not be representing everybody in the population of our city. And that's something, everybody deserves fair representation. So we have folks with different points of view, but we all strive to work toward that common goal. And we are very open with each other. We're very honest, and we're kind to each other. And having those relationships is extremely, extremely important. There's no competition. There's no combativeness between the council members. Everybody has the goal of serving the people of Dalworthington Gardens with intention.
Yeah, I think it's funny. We all have different gifts, different talents, and you kind of said this, but when we all have the same priority or goal, right? It's in Mayor Jeff Williams actually said this in his last podcast. It's amazing what happens that we're all different, but there's something that can unify us to go in the same direction, right? So you define success as the ability to keep going regardless of outcome. How does faith play a role in your resilience as a leader?
I will tell you, God blessed me with this position in 2018. And there were lots of things going on in my life at that time. And I prayed hard about it and said, if this is what I'm supposed to do, show me. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm very hard-headed, obviously, and semi-blind, because he sent me several signs. And I was like, nope, that's not my sign. And he would send another sign. I don't think that's my sign. Mm-hmm. And finally he took a bat and banged me on the head and said, this is it, babe. Take the opportunity. So I did, and then I started praying, Lord, please do not give me competition, because I could never take somebody else down or make somebody look bad, in a public forum. I would never do that.
Yeah.
But prayer is the foundation of everything that I do. Jesus is the first guy we invite to every council meeting, and we always ask for his protection, his guidance, wisdom to make sound decisions, the ability to keep peace in our city, and put a hedge of protection around us, because I got to put in a plug for our DPS.
Go ahead.
We absolutely have the most phenomenal DPS of anywhere. We are safe. We are protected. And if you leave your garage door open, we're going to call you in the middle of the night. We know your dog's names. We know what kind of car you drive. We know each other, and we have a community that truly loves on each other and deeply cares.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And I think it is important to have faith, right? Yeah. We're a faith-based organization as well. Not everybody shares the same faith, but it's okay as long as there's principle, right? There's principle in everything that we do, and everybody's steering in the right direction as far as how are we supposed to be treating people, and do we love people, right? And so I think that's extremely important in any organization, right? Because you don't want to bring in the wrong people. And even though they may come from a different religion or what have you, once things stays the same, we're here to serve, we're here to love, and we're here to be kind, right?
I love that.
And so we talk about scalability. You believe strongly in raising future leaders.
Absolutely.
How does DWG, because I'm going to say that because it's easier now that you've taught me that, intentionally involve students and young people in the civic life?
Okay, so we work closely with the schools in our community. For example, Key Elementary, which is part of AISD. We have a program with our DPS where they recognize students every 6 weeks for being the student of the month. Maybe it's every 4 weeks. But anyway, student of the month, and our DPS folks go into the schools and present an award to those students who have absolutely exemplified what we think is a model student. Mm-hmm. With ACA, which is Arlington Classics Academy. It is a charter school, and we work with them with the Salvation Army because every year at Christmas we have the Mayor's Red Kettle Challenge. And when we do that, we ask the students there at ACA to all participate in a fundraising effort for the Salvation Army. And then several of them, those in student council especially, will come and ring the bell out of service, to help collect money for those that have much greater needs than we do. And also, a lot of times, if there are fundraisers in the community, for example, with the AISD Foundation, I did cookies with Mrs. Claus. And then another one we did, Day with the Mayor. And I will take a student, and they did this at ACA for an auction item, and we take a student and their mayor for the day. So I will take them out to eat. We take a tour through the city in the fire truck, and then they lead the first part of the council meeting until we get to the regular agenda.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Well, I think that's important, too, because at the end of the day, it's about giving back to the next generation, right?
Yes.
And
these are the folks that are going to be looking after you and me.
Exactly. When we're retired and, they're going to have to take care of us, right? And so you really wanted me to specify this. There's 3 things that we talk about that are important in administration, and that is 1, transparency.
Yes.
2, documentation, and 3, structure. And so why are these essential to a long-term city planning?
Okay, so let's start with the structure part. We come up with a plan. We come up with the steps to articulate that. And in order to pave the path to success, you have to have that plan. Mm-hmm. If you're just running haywire and being reactive instead of proactive, you may not be able to achieve your goal as fast as you want to.
Yeah.
So that's very important. Now, the documentation part shows you, am I successful here? What do I need to change? And as I always tell my sweet daughter, Emily, your feet are never stuck in the concrete. Mm-hmm. If the plan changes or if the situation changes, change the outcome of it by making a better decision. You are not founded and stuck to a particular, path of doing things. If things change, be flexible and work to still achieve your goal, but you just may have to, pass around a corner.
Yeah.
And then the transparency is fundamental to trust. Mm-hmm. We have always open books. Everything, is accessible to our citizens. We're very upfront and honest. We have an excellent finance director who makes sure that the financials are in order. And one gentleman, when I first got in office, he was questioning every single thing that we did. So I started taking him our quarterly report investment and putting it on his front doorstep. Mm-hmm. And finally, after a couple of years, he said, "Okay, I get it. I trust you."
Yeah. So I think it's funny you say that because the owner, so many believe that I'm the owner, but I sold the company back in 2021. And he's like an owner, but he's also like a mentor to me. And he always says, he's funny because he always says, I don't like surprises, right? I don't think anybody likes surprises. So transparency, just making sure we have clear expectations, making sure that we are all aligned, right? Yeah. And so I think that has to do a lot with scaling, because if no one's aligned and that's like the root of all relationships is when you don't have those expectations set, and then things happen that you're like, well, I didn't talk about this, or I didn't expect this.
Yeah.
And so finally, you've said a good leader is the last of the buffet line. What does servant leadership look like in action at a city level?
For me, our staff runs the city beautifully. We have a great city administrator, a fantastic city secretary, and every single person who works in our city side and our DPS side, they're extraordinary individuals. And in order to make them successful, we have to give them the tools that they need. But if someone goes into a position like I've been blessed with the intent of self-service, meaning service to oneself,
right,
it never works out well.
Yeah.
Because your job as a leader is to make sure everybody in front of you is successful, because that's what paves the way to achieving goals and doing what your ultimate goal will be.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, I love it. Well, thank you again, Laurie, for coming on to the show. And we talked a lot about leadership. We talked about transparency, and most importantly, having a servant's heart. Okay, yeah. And how it's important in any kind of business that we do is remember that we're doing, business with other people. And at the end of the day, we like to define it as B2G, B2C, B2B, right? Business to business, business to consumer, business to government. At the end of the day, we're all H to H, which is human to human. And so we have to be able to build those relationships. So thank you for sharing your wisdom on the show, and thank you for being a part of the show. I hope you enjoyed it.
I have thoroughly enjoyed it. And one thing that I want to end with is it's all about the relationships and caring for each other. Many times people will say, I often tell people, I love you. And I sincerely mean that, because without that genuine love for each other, we're nothing.
Right. Yeah.
And so just so you know, it is sincere. It's from the heart. And I truly want to invest in others as I've been invested in.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, where can people find a little bit more information about the city of DWG or Dalworthington Gardens?
Well, honey, just give me a call and I will tell you all about it. Or you can go to our Facebook page, which is the City of Dalworthington Gardens, or our website, which is cityofdwg.net. Follow us on Facebook. But we're always accessible and there for everyone.
Awesome, awesome. Well, there you have it, everybody. That was Mayor Laurie Bianco with the Dalworthington Gardens. She had a wonderful story. Thank you again for telling us your story. And once again, welcome back to the ATMA Podcast, and we will see you guys next time.